Good morning. I'm Mark Swihart, and I'll be the worship associate today. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the North Hills. Whether you have been with this church for a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting, we welcome you. Whatever your faith, your traditions of the past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, whatever your journey has been, welcome to our church. Newcomers and guests are always welcome to participate in any of our church activities. If you'd like more information about our church or about Unitarian Universalism, please contact our minister, Reverend Jane Thickstun. You can find her information on our website. Also, please join us for the coffee hour following the service. What will happen is the Zoom link will be posted in the YouTube chat at the end of the service. From there, we'll be breaking into small groups for better conversation. This week, we also have other opportunities to gather by Zoom for informal chat on Tuesday afternoon, and again for the Wednesday night Vespers. The craft group announces with great pleasure the following. This year's holiday sale earned $2,118. This money will go directly to the church's general treasury. We, the craft group, thank all church members who supported us by buying a grab bag or basket, and we hope that you enjoyed the treasures that you received. Hey, hooray for the craft group and for all the members of our community. That's great. Well, again, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the North Hills. It's good to be together, even virtually.
Welcome everybody. Today would normally have been the children's holiday pageant, but this year that just wasn't possible. So we have for you a special celebration where you can see many of your fellow congregants decorating our beautiful tree outside our church. The tree was provided by Kurt Kunz, who will also be singing a solo for our special music today. In spite of the hardships we're going through right now, as the virus keeps us from our congregation family, our loved ones, our treasured activities, and more, we have much to be grateful for. Let us enter into a spirit of worship with these words from Diane Arakoa. We gather this day to offer our gratitude for all blessings, for the beauty of nature, even during the darkest and bleakest time of the year, for the memory of those who have gone before us and shown us the way, for the love of our families who support and encourage us, for the compassion of our friends who hold us in high regard, for the support of this community of faith, which stands for peace and justice, and for the presence of strangers and those in need with whom we may share a portion of our bounty. Come, let us worship together.
Let us hold a quiet moment together as our chalice is lit. As the wild wind bites, so does the still flame warm us. As the deep snows block our doors, so does the gentle flame bring us out. As the crackling cold air stops our breath, so does the radiant flame draw from us the words we need to give and to receive. Words of greeting, words of comfort, words of solace, words to challenge our minds and words to bring us to action. Let us gaze upon this, our common flame, so that we remember who we are and what we can do when we are together. Our opening hymn today is O Come, Emmanuel. Please sing along at home with everyone else at home.
People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Furrows, be glad, the earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength to seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way.
And now it's time for today's story. A lot of our service today is going to be about Christmas trees. And this story is about a very special Christmas tree, Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree by Robert Barry. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas tree came by special delivery. Full and fresh and glistening green, the biggest tree he had ever seen. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he'd waited for. "A magnificent tree, splendid," he cried. "Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside? I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner here." But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willoughby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling, then bit like a bow. "Oh, good heavens," he gasped, "something must go." Baxter, the butler, was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. "That's great," Mr. Willoughby cried with glee. "Now we can start to trim my tree." When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, "I know just who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree." So it was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willoughby's upstairs maid. "Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I have trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid, will have to be cut," sighed Miss Adelaide. And so with scissors sharp and long, she nipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day, in back of the house to be thrown away. That little tree top caught the eye of Tim, the gardener, passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree thrown out. He hurried it right home straight away to see what Mrs. Tim would say. Fa la la, surprise, surprise! His wife could not believe her eyes. "But our house," she said, "is so snug and small. I do not believe we need it all." And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut off the top and threw it out. Barnaby Bear was padding by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? "I'll take it home, that's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I've a present for you." "Isn't it a pretty tree?" yawned Mama Bear, quite drowsily. "Before we go to sleep this year, let's have a Christmas party, dear." But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, "That tree won't hold a star." Barnaby said, "Let's cut a hunk off at the bottom, right here at the trunk." But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. "Jolly by golly," Barnaby said with a kick. "Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn on strings." Mama said, "Trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need anymore. I'll put it just outside the door." Later on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the top in. He scampered home and jumped his gate. This Christmas present couldn't wait. "It's even better than mincemeat pie," said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. "There, my dears, now don't you worry. I'll fix this top now in a hurry." Benjamin Rabbit found it then, just outside the fox's den. "It seems," he thought, "most certainly Santa left that for my family." "Look," he cried, "see the tree I found?" With that he called his family round. And there was merrymaking, rollicking, frolicking, carrot shaking, celebration around the tree. All were happy as rabbits can be. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made a stand. "Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook." But right away the children cried, "Look, it's leaning off to one side." "It's too tall, that's all," said Mrs. Rabbit, and as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw away the top. Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice, up some stairs. He fell down twice. At last he reached his cozy house. It's just the right size, said Mrs. Mouse. Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willoughby? And here ends our story.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Richards from the Lay Pastoral Care Team. During our service, we create this sacred space for sharing within our community. It is a time to share significant life passages with the congregation so that you can be held in loving care. I'll be reading the joys and sorrows this morning. We will also be placing a stone, which represents each joy or sorrow, in the sand. The sand represents our congregation, supporting our sorrows and lifting up the joys. Today, we have two sorrows. Ruth Horwich shared her sorrow that her sister, Roberta, who lives in Denver, was hospitalized with COVID. Her adult daughter, who lives with her, also has COVID and is extremely fatigued. After being treated with some IV fluids, Roberta has been able to return home, and both of them are recovering through home health care. To Ruth, we say, we're holding you in our hearts. Melinda Geiger also shared a sorrow. She says, my second cousin's father, Harry Robatson, passed away this week due to COVID. Fortunately, he wasn't sick for very long, and my cousin was able to be with him shortly before his death. To Melinda, we say, we're holding you in our hearts. We now place one more stone in the sand for all the joys and sorrows that exist in our hearts, but which remain unspoken today. We especially think of all those who are affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. Please read with me the words appearing on the screen, knowing that here includes all those watching. Let us hold in our circle of caring each person here. Let us hold in our hearts those who are unable to be with us today. Let us hold in our memories those who have moved on. Let us find comfort in knowing that we are not alone.
I invite you to join me now in a spirit of meditation or prayer. So please settle in a little more comfortably and close your eyes if you wish. Relax. Let everything go. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Breathing in compassion and breathing out peace. O creative spirit of life in which we live and move and have our being, we give thanks for all of nature's bounties. We give thanks for caring friends and compassionate neighbors. We give thanks for the communion of those who seek to serve others. Each of us carries our private griefs and burdens. Sometimes we can share these, and for the open hearts which respond, we are grateful. Sometimes the world bears heavily upon us. We struggle alone and search the depths and long for healing, for renewed hope, for strength, which give their grace and peace. May we be strengthened in efforts to be of service, and may we be always mindful our lives are filled with privilege, success, and joy that are foreclosed to many. May our prayer be that we always see clearly and keep before us the commandment to care. And may we try always to be inclusive and open, not exclusive and narrow. On this day and every day, may we give thanks. But let us also be dissatisfied with the world as it is, for a new world is waiting to be realized. May our spirits and bodies be nourished and nurtured as we give thanks and praise of all that sustains, heals, and holds all that is holy. Amen. And let us pause for a few moments in silent reflection.
The reading this morning is by Ken Gewurtz and is from the Harvard Gazette, 1996. The title is Charles Follen Remembered for Bringing Tradition from Germany. Charles Follen left his native Germany and lived an eventful life filled with varied accomplishments and marked by a passionate devotion to the cause of liberty. Through his wife, Eliza, he got to know some of Boston's most celebrated figures, including William Ellery Channing, a leading Unitarian minister. Under Channing's influence, Follen began studying for the ministry and soon embarked on a preaching career in addition to his duties at Harvard. The year 1830 was a significant one for Follen. It was the year he became a naturalized citizen of the United States, and the year his son, Charles Christopher Follen, was born. This young man's arrival was probably the chief factor leading to Follen's introduction of the Christmas tree. The event took place in December 1832. That is the date of a description by Harriet Martineau, an English Unitarian and journalist who was living in Boston at the time. Follen, remembering the German Christmases of his youth and wishing to recreate the magic and beauty of a decorated tree for his young son, went out into the woods near his home and cut down a small fir. The tree was set in a tub, and its branches hung with small dolls, gilded eggshells, and paper cornucopias filled with candied fruit. The tree was illuminated with numerous candles. Martineau describes the unveiling of the tree at the Follen's Christmas party. Quote, "It looked really beautiful. The room seemed in a blaze, and the ornaments were so well hung that no accident happened except one doll's petticoat caught fire. There was a sponge tied to the end of a stick to put out any supernumerary blaze, and no harm ensued. I mounted the steps behind the tree to see the effect of opening the doors. It was delightful. The children poured in, but in a moment, every voice was hushed. Their faces were upturned to the blaze, all eyes wide open, all lips parted, all steps arrested.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
In a bit, you'll see the church's Christmas tree being decorated. It's lovely. If you haven't seen it yet, you're welcome to come by anytime and contribute an ornament if you like. If you remember what you put on it, you can even pick it up again after the holidays. I'm not putting up a tree this year, not even my little tabletop tree, because my Waldo is still a kitten. I've learned the hard way that it doesn't make sense to have a Christmas tree in the first year of a kitty's life. But I do have greens. I got a pretty wreath at Kalen's Farm Market and some loose greens too. These are some of them. I made an arrangement with the greens and some pine cones from such an arrangement I bought last year. Got a few things from Michael's as well and stuck them in, and it's just a gorgeous little arrangement. It sits in my fireplace that isn't functional. And I also have my holiday tabletop display with candles. Right here, I will show it to you. There's another one as well that has 3 candles, a little bit longer. And I have it on the mantle this year instead of on the table, again, because of the kitten. And then I also have candles in every window, held down with clear packing tape. We put lights in our windows and on our houses and on our trees to dispel the darkness of this time of year. The lights bring warmth to our neighborhoods, to our homes, and to our hearts. But why do we bring trees indoors? Why did Mr. Willoughby and all the others bring a tree inside their house? Why did Charles Follen do the same? People have been doing this for centuries. The first person to bring a Christmas tree into a house may have been the 16th century German preacher Martin Luther. But the evergreen tree has been used to celebrate winter festivals, both pagan and Christian, for thousands of years. Probably goes back to the beginning of time, at least in Northern Europe. The greens, whether trees or branches, are a symbol of life in the midst of death. They're a bit of color in a white, gray, and brown world, the world of winter all around us. They remind us of the beauty of nature, even during the darkest and bleakest season of the year. When I want to get closer to that which I feel is holy, I go to the woods. To be confronted with green, teeming life, unadulterated by the straight lines of human architecture, helps me feel I am part of something larger than myself and my own problems. It helps me feel more alive as I participate in the living, breathing forest around me. I know I am not alone in this. From what I've heard, many of us experience the holy most of all in nature. When I sit home and look around, everything was created by human beings, except for the few plants I try to keep alive, often unsuccessfully. And of course, then the kitties. When I sit in the woods and look around, everything is created by a non-human source. The life force itself, some may call it God. Or maybe it doesn't even make sense to call it created, which implies a creator. Maybe it just is. Or maybe that's what God is. The presence we feel when we're quiet and attentive in the woods. Maybe it's the life itself that's divine. Indeed, I believe it is. For whatever reason, the natural world is a source of peace and joy for me and for others. And in many ways, it feels like it shuts down for the winter. Of course, winter has a beauty all its own, but the signs of life are few. The color is gone. The green that most living plant life displays in spring and summer all but disappears. All except for the evergreens. The evergreens serve as a reminder that all is not dead, that life itself is in some way eternal. These emblems of hope keep us anchored to the natural world. They remind us that the seasons are temporary, that the bleak winter is a necessary prelude to the beauty and bounty of spring. They remind us that life goes on, even in the midst of death, of darkness, of sorrow and loss. So let's bring trees and other greenery into our homes this holiday season. Let's take in their aroma, their beauty, and their aliveness. Let's be in touch with that life force that continues even through the coldest, darkest times. Let's celebrate life with Christmas trees and greens. And in celebration, let us sing together, "Oh, Christmas Tree." I don't think it's in our hymn book, but the words will be on the screen, and I'm sure you know the tune.
Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Not only green in summer's heat, but also winter's snow and sleet. Oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Each year you bring to us delight with brightly shining Christmas light. Oh Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. Oh Tannenbaum, we learn from all your beauty. Oh Tannenbaum, we learn from all your beauty. Your bright green leaves with festive cheer give hope and strength throughout the year. Oh Tannenbaum, we learn from all your beauty.
Our congregation is supported solely by the contributions of its members and friends. In tough times, we need our faith community more than ever. Let's make sure to maintain it, even in this difficult time. The morning offering will be taken by your mailing a check to the church or going to the UUCNH website, finding the link in the upper right-hand corner that says Donate, and making a contribution equivalent to what you would be putting in the plate or more. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith.
In the words of Julianne Lepp, we have not forgotten. In nature, we seek you in the whisper of wind and in the new green wood. Your presence is near. We have not lost hope. In the dust of the desert, in the rush of the wave, in the rise of the mountain, your presence is near. We remember the cycle in the promise of blossoms, in the dying leaves, in the bare branches. Your presence is near. And to these words, I would add, in the green trees of winter, your presence is near. May we feel the presence of life in the evergreens we encounter. May the greenery remind us that life continues, that hope is alive, that beauty surrounds us. Blessed be, and amen. And please join us for coffee hour.